These are the plaintiffs, Margaret Hain and her son Jason. Margaret says she bought a new stove/fireplace from the defendant. His guys hooked it up incorrectly, and when the fire department came to extinguish a fire, they told her the thing almost burned her entire house down. The thing had a defective motor. The defendant's workers did something wrong to her chimney, and all she has to say is she's lucky to be here to sue the bad businessman for the $3,421.95 she's owed. This is the defendant, Jeffrey Bloom. He says he tried to talk the plaintiff into getting a more user-friendly model, but she insisted on getting the one they sold her. He doesn't want to sound sexist, but this particular model is a man stove, and it's very technical. The woman didn't follow the instructions. He did the best he could to help her on numerous occasions, and she can throw the woe-is-me card around as much as she wants. Bottom line, he's the one who's owed money. He's accused of burning up a customer. The defendant has filed a countersuit for $1,600 for unpaid service calls.
Thank you, Douglas. Margaret Hain and Jason Hain?
Yes,
you are suing the defendant's business. Are you the owner or you're a manager?
I'm a manager.
For $3,421.95 because a heating stove that they sold and installed for you, according to you, was defectively installed. You have a counterclaim against her for $1,600 for 8 service calls that had been free, but now that she's suing you, you want to go back and charge for. All right. What's going on?
Your Honor, I went to the defendant and I saw this stove, which I had actually seen in other places. I liked the look of it. It looked warm, and I want to show you these pictures.
Sure. And then the make of the stove was a Breckwell?
Breckwell's
and how did this
company.
stove work? It worked by what kind of heating element?
Pellet heat.
Pellet. What is pellet heat? Can you explain that to me?
Sure. It's sawdust or wood that's been made into a sawdust that's reconstituted in a hydraulic press into a wood pellet, and then it's burned in the stove.
So go on.
I ordered it on the 19th of October. I said I wanted it for the winter, obviously. 2 months went by, nothing. I started to call them at the end of October, and I kept calling them. By the beginning of December, I said, I want my money back. I want a stove.
What, can I see your original contract with them?
Yes.
When were they supposed to have installed it by?
By the winter.
But, well, so it's not going to just say the winter. It doesn't say something? Like it doesn't say a specific date for installation? Does it?
Yeah.
What's the date?
By November 28th.
No.
Okay, so
Yes.
you guys failed to install it by November 28th?
It's true that we didn't install the stove until December.
So, go ahead.
December the 19th, they brought the stove. They were there for a long time, and they had to call another technician in because it wasn't working. The third technician said, oh, there's no motor.
The motor.
That's not the case, Your Honor.
But hold on a second. This is not like a sports event where you just pipe up every time you don't like what she says. A lot of what she says you're not going to like. All right? So please wait your turn. Go ahead.
So they said there was no motor. And they said that they were going to order one, and the lady there was on the phone to her the second day, and she said to me, the person that used to work here stole it and sold the parts.
Okay.
No, the motor.
The motor.
Stole the motor. And I said, I just don't believe what's happening
Tell me
here.
what happened with the motor. Ma'am, what's your position with the company?
Sales.
Okay. Well, are you the person who sold her the item?
Yes.
Okay. So she calls you and she's angry there's no motor, and what do you tell her?
Somebody that worked there prior.
Didn't steal it.
Because
though.
what?
It was
He
just-
didn't take them. He
What was the
used
reason?
them. He had used the parts out of the stove that was purchased for her for another customer prior
So really
to.
there was a motor missing from what you guys went to install?
It's a blower motor. We didn't know that the parts we used, it was a display. Well, understand, the stove sits on the showroom floor for X amount of time. It's just a display. It's not burning.
Why are you selling it to a customer without a motor?
We didn't know. We didn't inspect it to see that the motor with the blower was missing.
I hear you perfectly. I want to know why not.
Because
and I want to know why one of your employees takes a motor and doesn't let you know heads up, took the motor from the
Why?
display
Well,
that you may sell
ideally-
one day. Because apparently you sell your displays. Some places won't sell their display, but you do. So maybe the guy taking the motor out for use in some other place whether it's his apartment or another legitimate use, maybe that guy should let you guys know in case you sell the thing that it doesn't have a motor.
Obviously, that is how
you
it
think?
should
Because
be.
you don't sound very contrite. You're very like snooty about it, and I'm wondering why.
No,
it sounds like a
letting
screw
you
up
know
on your
that
part, and I'm wondering why you're not a little bit more. Oh yeah, can you believe it? That's sort of like what I expect.
We stand behind everything we sell.
He's marching orders, and he's like, "We're great." How about just admitting that was a little bit of a mess up?
So, would you buy a potentially dangerous item as a display item? What do you think?
No.
Why?
Because I want it boxed in its original form if it's going to potentially have danger.
So they offer you $100 off if you buy the display item, and it's potentially dangerous.
Wouldn't take it.
200.
No.
50% off. Oh, come on, you know it.
Maybe.
Maybe, right. Going inside the courtroom.
The day they delivered it,
When did they get you the motor?
the 23rd, they came back and got it started.
When did you have your first problem with it after the 23rd of December?
Within an hour after they left.
Why? What was the problem?
It just went out.
After the 23rd, when was the next time they came?
I believe it was on the 15th because
Of what? Of January?
of January. They came before, but on this particular day, we had a fire from this. We called
You had a fire in this unit?
yes, ma'am.
Okay.
We called the fire department. I'm going to let him do that part.
Go ahead.
It was very
Okay,
awful.
well, what happened was it was at night, and there was a lot of smoke coming upstairs where I was. And I had my son with me. And
Who's
when all
how
this
old?
smoke is
Infant.
coming up
5 months.
upstairs, so I grab my son, I wrap him in a blanket, and in a hot minute, I'm downstairs outside.
Did the fire department come?
Yes.
Did the fire department write a report?
Yes, they did. I have it
Can I
right
see the
here, and they
report?
said it was an obstructed chimney.
Let me see the report. Obstructed flue wood burning chimney. Okay, what would that be about?
If she pushed the stove, moved it in any way.
So she would have to have pushed something that's installed into the wall and vented out for that to be her fault. Did you ever push the stove around?
I couldn't
Were you playing
move it.
kickball
She
with the
looked like she
stove?
could. She looked like
I
she
know.
could.
Were you playing kickball with the stove? Was somebody else shoving the stove around because they didn't like where it stood and they wanted it to be an inch to the side when it's vented into the wall? No. Okay. All right.
Take
So
a
that
look
happens
at
on
the
the
pictures.
14th, and then they come out a couple of days later. In fact, they come out numerous times in January, February, March.
Not only
Till when? When was the last month you guys came out and then finally said, we're out?
326.
326. All right. You were suing for several things, and then we'll talk about your counterclaim. You're suing for 2 heating bills. The heating bill of November 2010 and the heating bill of December 2010.
Yes.
You say that because they installed it December 2010, and you feel that in the contract they should have installed it by November, it should have been installed. So you feel that they should pay your heating bills. Okay, I understand that. But you're also suing for a couple of other things. The cost of repair for piping and the cost of original piping installation. $1,100 is what she was charged for the piping package.
Pipe and installation.
So that's the $1,100. You want that money back because you had to go out and, according to you, pay another company to take those pipes out and to pipe it appropriately. Because according to you, their installation was faulty.
well, according to the fire department.
Now, you have pictures that you have given me of the installation that they did. This is after it's cut out. That shows a lot of glue.
That's the second vent they put in. This was after the fire department, which was still incorrect. And according to Clayton Richards, that was an improper.
According to you, the fire department verbally told you that it was not installed correctly.
No,
That's
they
not in
wrote
the
it-
fire report.
Okay.
But they certainly do install it differently after that.
Yes.
All right. And then you end up hiring a separate company.
Well,
You hire
because-
Clayton Richards when?
October, because they weren't answering my calls anymore. They were completely
They were done with
ignoring
you.
me.
The last time you guys went was in March. It's now summer.
Oh,
it's, yeah. Nobody's calling anybody anyway.
That-
But when you start calling
My
again in October,
warranty-
they're not
My
responding.
warranty was still for a year.
So you hired Clayton Richards through Breckwell?
Through Breckwell.
Which is the manufacturer.
Manufacturer
And
of
it
the
says
stove.
Clayton Richards inspected the pellet stove at the above address. The venting system was not properly installed. Silicone, clear, not high temperature, was used to seal the joints. The stove was installed with only 1-inch clearance from the wall. 3-inch clearance is required by code. Have you seen this?
No, and
Do you want to see it?
Sure.
Okay.
You know, the validity of their claims without us seeing the stove, for us to even discuss becomes not relevant to the case, because
well, I'll decide
when we
if it's
install,
relevant, won't I? Because here's what I got. I've got pictures of you, of your installation, and here's the work that Clayton Richards did. And just as an outside observer, your work caused the fire department to come. Your work caused you guys to revent it, and then it still looks the way it looks in your pictures. And then another company comes and says, these people didn't follow code. And given everything that I'm hearing about the problems, don't you think that maybe I have a reason to be a little bit suspicious?
When we installed the stove is installed and meets all necessary clearances.
Okay, that's the kind of thing someone says when, like, we were following orders, and that's that. I want to know the answer to my question.
I wasn't there for the
that's
install,
right.
so
that's right.
All I can tell you is...
Hand me back my pictures, and now you end up paying somebody for cleaning and service fee, and why would they have to pay you that? I don't see that in your contract, that cleaning the stove is their responsibility.
They told me that because I had a lot of problems, they were going to do a free cleaning at the end of the season. That was when I called them,
Okay,
and
you
they
can't
said,
sue them for that. I mean,
No, no.
they might promise you something and then change their minds because they think you're annoying.
Then they said-
Absolutely not.
Okay, either way, that doesn't matter to me because they don't have to pay you. Well, okay, you won't take yes for an answer?
Wait,
you won that one. Okay.
Can we just say...
So we have the 517 is what you paid Clayton Richards?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
But they were the one, Your Honor, that opened up the whole fire.
What's the fire?
The stove.
Okay.
Took a photograph of number 5 with all the stuff that's in it, and here's a sample of that.
Okay, and this pipe is what was clogged?
Yes.
Your Honor?
All right. No, you have on your counterclaim, this is the last question I have for you. On your counterclaim is $1,600, a cost of 8 service calls at $200 each. When you went to her house to diagnose these problems that you're asking to be paid for now, you never told her there would be a $200 charge, right? This is when you were doing it gratis.
I believe there were...
Yes, they said it a couple of times.
A couple of occasions.
So you charged her?
2 or 3.
We asked for
Okay, can I
payment.
see your invoices where you asked for payment before today? Because, see, I have to make sure that you're not just angry you're being sued, and so now you are saying, I want 8 service calls from before.
Absolutely not.
Right, so let me see where you invoiced her before her lawsuit.
We don't have it here, so I understand we're not getting paid
You don't
for that.
have it?
No.
What it is exactly what I said, which is now that you're being sued, you want to turn around and create a contract where there was none beforehand and an obligation to pay you $1,600 where there was none beforehand. On your counterclaim against her, 0. On your claim against them, this is what I am going to do. I am not going to charge against them the cost of the 2 original heating bills for the delay. I do believe that there is some wiggle. Get out of my room. Get out of my. I mean it. Get out. Get out. I've had it.
Do me a favor.
No, just him. No, she can
Yeah,
stay.
take that and
right.
try and get
He's still. He's going to coach you from out there. Look for the smoke signals.
Just go.
Okay.
To the left. To the left.
Honest, I haven't been able to stay one sentence without that man interrupting me. Not one. All right. Now, the cost of the heating bills is not something I believe that they should have to pay for. At that point, you didn't say, I'm not interested in you guys, you've already breached the contract and walked away. You've accepted them coming a few weeks late. It was acceptable to you then, it's acceptable to me now. Now, the cost of repair for the piping, $517 that you ended up having to pay the new people to repipe it.
Yes.
I find that you were entitled to the $517 because that is what you had to pay out to get what you had originally bargained for. But you would not be entitled to that as well as $1,100 for the original installation, the original piping from them. Because the only thing you're out, okay, is an additional $517. You should never have had to pay that. I agree with you. $517 verdict for the plaintiff.
Hallelujah.
Okay, so we're out here in the hallway with the defendant. You didn't make it through the whole case. What's going through your mind now that...
Well, obviously, I didn't have an opportunity to address any of the points.
Come on in. Come on in, right next to
I haven't been given any opportunity to discuss the case at all. The judge cut me off constantly, never allowed me to speak, to discuss the case, and only wanted to hear just answers to questions, never my testimony, never information about the
answers
case.
to questions. That's how it goes. Questions and answers from the judge, and that's how it's done.
I should be allowed to present my side of the case, and I was allowed nothing.
All right, you were in there fighting for your reputation. Okay, head right down this way. All right. Okay, so come on in here. You win your case. Step up. You didn't get everything you sued for, not even close. So what's your feeling?
No, that's okay. I'm glad we won the case. That's great.
Well, you didn't care about money. You just wanted to rake them over the coals.
Would have been nice. Would have been.
Harvey.
Okay, short and sweet on this countersuit, you cannot ever change a deal once the deal is already made unless each side gets something additional. That will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.